What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today.
A lot of people don't talk about this team because they never won a championship. But in my opinion, this could have been the greatest NBA basketball team of all time based on just pure talent on the roster and unquestionably the greatest starting lineup I've ever seen of all time. But because they didn't win a championship, this team will be completely forgotten in just a couple of years. I can promise you that. Taking a look at the roster, starting with the starting lineup. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins, Draymond Green. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins, Draymond Green. Off the bench, Jordan Bell, good role player. Quinn Cook, good role player. Andre Iguodala, we know who the hell Iggy is. Damian Jones, Damian Lee, Sean Livingston, fantastic. Kevin Looney, Alfonso McKinney, just to name some of the role players, the more notable ones. Top to bottom, they had talent, ridiculous talent in that starting lineup. They had young players, they had all-stars, they had veteran leadership that could still play, not just there for a locker room presence. This team was nasty. I give a damn about their record. I give a damn they didn't win 70 games, 60 games, whatever. I think they only won 57 games that season. They weren't going out there trying to bang out the best record or like break any type of records. You know, we got to get 60 wins. We gotta beat 71-9, all that. They weren't going in there for that. 73-9, excuse me. My math is horrible. 73-9. And for me, when they got DeMarcus Cousins is when I was like, oh my God. The Warriors just signed DeMarcus Cousins on a very cheap contract. How did that happen? I don't know if it was a veteran's minimum equivalent or what, but they got DeMarcus Cousins for pennies. DeMarcus Cousins. How did the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and those other cast of characters pick up Boogie Cousins? I'll tell you why. Boogie Cousins, in my opinion, was the best center in the league for quite some time, for the last couple of years, up until that point in the 2018-2019 season. Boogie was an incredible and skilled basketball player. I don't know what they have him listed as. I'm going to say 7-footer, big body, could play in the post, did play in the post, could pass the ball extremely well. One of the best passing bigs I've ever seen. Give a damn about what the assist numbers say. I'm telling you, Boogie Cousins could pass that ball. He could face up. He could play in the post. He could dribble. He could shoot the mid-range. He could even shoot the three ball. He could rebound. He wasn't a horrible defender. He wasn't a great defender. He was an adequate defender. At times, he was defensive. At times, I always felt like he could put a bit more effort on the defensive end of the floor. But Boogie Cousins was a beast. But because of his time in Sacramento and his behavior at times, the antics, the altercations in the locker room, the technical fouls on the floor, the flare-ups. Because of all that, some of it, probably most of it, self-inflicted, but there were times where I felt like he was targeted by the NBA and other parts. But he had this aura and this stench and this stigma attached to him as a locker room cancer. He wasn't a good guy. He was temperamental. And he never fully got that that gross yuck off of him during his career moving forward. Because after he left the Sacramento Kings and went to the New Orleans Hornets in the 2016-2017 season, you never heard anything like that about Boogie Cousins anymore. Sometimes you're just in a bad situation, and I ain't going to say that. Sometimes Sacramento Kings just wasn't the organization for him. But once he got the hell up out of there, guess he learned the lessons he had to learn, evolved as a person, as a personality, for the most part. You've heard nothing but glowing things about Boogie Cousins as a player and as a player on the court and amongst his teammates in the locker room. Never heard anything bad about Boogie Cousins. Nothing like what you're hearing from Sacramento. A lot of people loved being around him, loved playing with him. Anthony Davis wanted to play with him. Him and Anthony Davis were destroying the NBA in their time with on New Orleans. So, and Boogie Cousins last year with the New Orleans Hornets, he only played 48 games because, if I'm not mistaken, he had a season-ending injury. And I believe he tore his Achilles, right? So in those 45 to 50 games he played, Boogie was averaging 25 points per game, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, a block and a half. Boogie was balling. Boogie was unstoppable, him and AD together. Like I said, he was one of the, in my opinion, the best center in the league. I loved watching Boogie Cousins play. It's one of my favorite players. But then the Achilles happened. Now, after that, after the torn Achilles and that stench that's attached to him, nobody wanted to take the risk on Boogie Cousins moving forward. Between the history of players with Achilles tendons, injuries, and how they bounce back or lack thereof, between that and then him being a center and his size and the nasty stench and odor that was still attached to Boogie Cousins from his Sacramento days. And I don't know what kind of contract him and his agent were looking for, but nobody wanted Boogie Cousins on their roster. He went to several teams and he got turned down plenty of times, many times. And I believe even the Los Angeles Lakers turned Boogie Cousins down, if I'm not mistaken. Fact check me on that. So after him going around, it's like, man, nobody wants me on their team. Calling people up, can't get any contract offers, nothing that he wanted. He said, F it. He called up Golden State Warriors management. I think he called Bob Myers and said, hey, man, nobody wants me, man. Y'all got any openings? Can I play for y'all? Then he ended up talking to KD and some other players on the Warriors. And I think it was either Bob Myers or Steve Kerr. They were like, hey, Boogie, man, look, I can't believe we're getting a call from you wanting to play with us, and we can't believe nobody wants you. You're a hell of a player, but we only have this much money to offer you. We don't have the money you're looking for, but we would love to have you on the team if you want to come play for us. But I can't imagine you're going to accept this measly offer that we have with the money we have left over. It was like a 1-year deal, like $5 million or something like that. And Boogie said, thank you, I'll take it. And it ain't about the money at this point. It's about being somewhere where I'm wanted. It ain't even about the money. And people lost faith in me. People don't want me on their team. Well, how do you like me now? And it was a done deal. Boogie Cousins to the Golden State Warriors. Coming off a 25, 13 rebound, 5 assist game. I'm like, and this happened, I'm like, oh, what the? I said, nobody wanted Boogie Cousins. Nobody would take a risk on this guy. 25, 13, and 5. In my opinion, the best center in the league. And if you didn't think he was the best, then you can't argue that he was one of the best. Nobody was willing to accept him for whatever reason. Y'all nuts. Now, here's when things like this happen. Now all of a sudden, when Boogie signs with the Warriors, that's unfair. They got Boogie Cousins. How they get Boogie Cousins? Boogie Cousins. Oh, now y'all want to talk about Boogie Cousins. Oh, now Boogie Cousins is that guy. Oh, now you want to acknowledge Boogie Cousins for the great player that he is. And what hopefully he might still be coming off this injury. I don't want to hear that now. I don't want to hear no grumblings about him going to the Warriors, because he tried to get with all you other people that are complaining right now. You didn't want him. And you probably didn't expect him to go to the Warriors, but now he's here. How do you like me now? And I'm telling you, when he went to the Warriors, I call my brother, I call some other people. I was like, yo, man, I don't believe this. I was like, listen, man, I know a lot of people don't like Boogie. I know a lot of people don't watch Boogie. But I'm telling you, Boogie Cousins could be the most important player on his team because he's a center. The Warriors never played with a true center like this. And his ability to pass the ball and score at his size and handle the ball, the Warriors have never had anything like this. And their ball movement, basketball system, they could run everything through the hub. They could run everything through Boogie. Easy shots for everybody. If it wasn't already easy enough for him before they got Boogie Cousins. And sure enough, man, when he got on the court, I'm watching it many times. I'm like, man, Boogie Cousins is making this offense run right now. Boogie Cousins at times looked like the best basketball player on the court. I'm not sitting here saying he was better than Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. Just, you get what I'm saying, man. And he averaged like 16 points per game and 8 rebounds as pretty much a third, fourth, or fifth option any given game. And I went and watched them live when they came to play in DC when I played in the DMV. And I'm telling you, the minute Boogie got on the court, man, it was just like, it was seamless basketball. It was fluid for the whole team. And going through the hub, man, he offered a dynamic that we never seen with that Warriors basketball club. And it took their versatility to a whole nother level. They could play any way you wanted to now. Because they had an all-star caliber big on their team. No, they had an all-star big on their team. They could play 100 different ways. We could play big, we could play small, we could play fast, we could play slow, we could play through the post, we could play any way. It doesn't matter what team, what kind of matchups, we got it covered. Everything. That's what they got with Boogie Cousins. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Boogie Cousins, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. Are you kidding me? I'd never seen a starting lineup like that before in my entire life. That is the most potent, destructive starting lineup in NBA history, in my opinion. And each of those 5 players on that starting lineup, they all offered something different, but were still versatile at the same time. You know, it wasn't a LeBron James, Dwayne Wade pairing, a completely redundant skill set. Each of these guys were extremely unique, and each of these guys could score without the basketball. And 3 of them could score with the basketball in their hand in isolation. And you still got people like Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, Damian Lee coming off the bench. Kevin Looney. Come on, man. If it wasn't for the injuries in the playoffs, nobody was beating that team. Nobody was beating that team healthy. Because remember, that was the year Kevin Durant had the Achilles tendon tear. He came back. He missed, I think, most or all of the Western Conference Finals. I can't remember if he got injured that series or the series before. I can't remember. And then he came back early in the finals because it was looking kind of rough for the Warriors. And he instant impact. The dude just came out draining shots. Then he tore his Achilles. All right, Kevin Durant's gone. Then game 6, Klay Thompson tears his ACL in a close game. Now all he had left was Steph. And I even think Boogie was hobbled during that time. I think Boogie was playing hurt. That's the only reason that team lost. They would have smashed the Toronto Raptors. They would have smashed them if they were healthy. It wouldn't even been close. Man. That was a hell of a basketball team. Hell of a basketball team, man. That's all I got to say about it, man. Unfortunately, injuries happen. I'm telling you. That was the best damn team I ever seen. That one right there. If that team was together for years, man, they could have pulled off a nasty dynasty. Oh man, could you imagine? Now, I would have to imagine, unless Boogie Cousins was just really, 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 really happy that after other teams seeing Boogie's play, especially having the exposure of being on the Golden State Warriors and winning and contributing to winning basketball, I would have to imagine that Boogie Cousins would have eventually left that Warriors team because somebody would have gave him a nice contract worthy of his skills. But that didn't happen because he was only hurt the rest of his career after that. I actually throw Boogie Cousins in that what if because he didn't get to experience his full prime. Those great what if players. That's all I got to say about it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. I catch you on the next one. We out, baby.